Welcome. So glad you're here at the sunset on the river. Time to reflect. This is Foundation Step 6. The lesson is mindful communication. Very important in my life, and especially going through the transition of building a stress response out of the stress reactivity of, being heightened into PTSD mode and just being startled or fearful or feeling unsafe or identifying with my health too much and projecting this on the person with me, more likely someone close to me. And then you know what happens after. I have to make amends. And so this is where all these practices come to this point of building this stress response and stopping in the present moment and having the awareness to gather and then speak in a healthier way, to express myself. And so I remember one of my mentors, Bob Stahl, we used to take a deep breath and just check in before we started the talk, and it was good because I found myself at times, like as soon as we started talking, blah, 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 and then as I went in my transition into healing and transforming, it started slowing down. And now I'm a lot more patient and have this bigger window of tolerance to hold things. And I can speak without in this reactive state, and having the person I'm with then come back in their reactive state. And then the energy is not good. It just heightens everything and messes stuff up. And I don't like that. They don't like that. And I'm sure you can relate in those times where we felt overwhelmed or stressed, where we have projected on others and maybe others come back, or, they say things and there's arguments. And so this is where we take it, this stress response, and we find another way of releasing through mindful communication. We release by meditating, we release by the breath, we release by movement, sweat, tears, and now we learn to speak. And this leads into better relationships, more coherence in our lives, and getting our needs and wants met. And so there was times I share in my book where in a highly reactive state, I couldn't communicate. I just came out very demanding. And we'll talk about the major communication styles in another lesson. And this would just make my wife reactive, and boom, 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 back and forth, and it didn't feel good internally. And so a few things I want to read out of the book. Some key points about mindful communication. And really mindful communication is just being here, now, in the present. Being aware, this dual awareness, being non-judgmental, being compassionate, having patience. And so I just want to read a few words. So if I take my eyes off the screen, this is where we practice. Really the root of mindful communication is, do we speak or do we listen? Think about that. What's communicating? Speaking first or listening first? Active listening is first. We listen. We're speaking, we're not hearing each other. And active listening is being aware of our thoughts, our body sensations, how we're already trying to form a response or answer or a question or interrupting. And so this is the power in building a stress response and learning to gather ourselves and tune in to all this open awareness practice we've been doing in our sitting formal meditations. And so mindful communication, and this is really just being compassionate and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and patient, and just I do my best to put myself in someone else's shoes when I listen. And that allows me to just tune in more. I tune into their voice. I anchor into their voice. I anchor into their eyes. I anchor into their speech. So there's different things I do when I sit across from someone or talk over the phone. And so some of the things that are the principles of mindful communication are active listening, empathy, being non-judgmental. You know those things go around in our head, but being aware of this. Being compassionate, being open, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, and being patient, and having some integrity and humility. And this is all developed through our practice, and we just come now. We tend to just stop and be an active listener, and we speak. And so this is a really good way to get through stress, build resilience, and research shows this. The more we can gather and speak what's going on, the more resilience we build, and we get through things easier, and maybe not so much easier, but we get through things better, especially if we have support. And then we build and we learn to speak about our strengths too. Reflecting on how am I when I communicate when I'm stressed? How does the tone of my voice come out? The words I use. And bringing the awareness back to your breath. Reflecting. Is it difficult for me to be an active listener? Am I good at it? Am I able to be aware of my thoughts and the felt sense energy in my body in communication? Bringing the awareness back to the breath and inviting you to set an intention to be aware of how you communicate throughout your day. How you communicate when you're in the present in a good space. How you communicate when under stress or when someone else is under stress. And when you're ready, thanking yourself, being kind to yourself. Thank you. I'll see you next lesson.